Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for everyone coming on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Let's get that music back up and running. Bitcoin, beautiful pump last night. If you were in the trading group, we took gains. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. I hate to say it, but if you were with us for less than $3 a day, I'm just trying to, I made nice gains. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's have some fun here with BTC. All right. Get myself tight and right over here and situated. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in and appreciate each and every one of you for being here. BOOKMAP. Signs of a bit of a pump here. 99,300 the second I touched the stage. Let's take a look. And I traded Ethereum. I got into Ethereum around here. Tight. My stop loss somewhere down in here. We pumped huge to the upside. My ETH trade still open. I hadn't traded ETH in years. Felt like it. And up 86% on the gain for Ethereum. And I'm going to stay in that trade for a long time. I'm going to be in that trade. I'm not getting out of that trade for a minute here. Bitcoin. We're watching this possible falling wedge that could break back to the upside. Some type of consolidation here on the smaller time frame. Could it turn into a shoulder, head and shoulder? That's kind of the skinny right here. That could break, shoulder, head, right shoulder. Shoulder, head, right shoulder, break to the downside. That would be your neckline. Chance, we had a nice pump last night. So if you did take gains, you're kind of in the late category. But we're going to break it down. We're going to have some fun. And we're going to show you how Sammy made gains last night. What am I looking at in the charts? And I was up $3,000 when my wife she woke me up this morning. Sam, you're up $3,000. I mean, when your wife wakes you up and tells you you're up $3,000, it's pretty awesome. And so I was up about $5,000 at one point, but I took $2,400 off the table and left the ETH trade on and took another $286 off of BitTinex. So basically took about $3,000, about $2,800 off the table this morning. And that's it. Like I did it in my sleep, right? Gains in my sleep. And I'm not bragging. I'm just being honest. And I can teach you guys exactly how I did it and what I did. So I was watching Bitcoin last night. Beautiful pump to the upside. And then this flag began to form on the 1 minute time frame. And yes, the 1 minute. But I saw, first we saw this Adam and Eve double bottom. Look at that. A beautiful Adam and Eve double bottom to the upside. Doesn't matter the time frame, right? Then the shoulder, head start. It was like right here. And I formed this flag. And then as I went to bed, I put in a trade. I basically put in about $1,400 for $4,600. If we had gotten all the way to the target was pretty big. Up there at about 99.9, right? But we ripped all the way to about 99,864. Got very close to my target. And I woke up somewhere around here. And I got out at right around this area here where we started making this right shoulder here. I put my stop right there. And it looked like it could continue to pump. And then we broke down. Ever since, we've kind of been toying around here for Bitcoin. And I've been watching price action. So I paid the trader. That was the trade last night. I got into this flag. Stop loss below 98,650. As you can see, it was a clean trade. No stop loss got hit in the making of that trade. Also, I gave that trade in the 4-hour time frame yesterday. Said we were going to track it, right? I believe the stop was 92,298. So there's a 93,298. There's a chance it never got stopped out. But we'll take a look. And the fractal that I put out so far is playing out for Bitcoin. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in and appreciate each and every one of you for being here and sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show. Get that energy up and running. Hope you had a wonderful day. Bang, bang, bang. And blessings on blessings. Just focus on these trades right now. So focus on these trades and the discipline it took to get there. And again, a trade that I took today, that took years in the making. I traded $10,000 at 33x leverage. It was basically a almost a $350,000 trade in total. Okay. And able to take the gain that I made off of the percentage that Bitcoin made. And I've been training for this for a long time. A lot of my trades are, $1,500, $1,300 for a year or two over and over again at 30x leverage. You get comfortable at a certain leverage. So eventually you can up the ante at the right time. I remember I used to make $250. I said, man, I can't wait till I can swing this overnight and make $2-3 grand overnight. And the time comes, if you're patient and you work at it, the time comes when everything happens. And then it's not even as much as you thought it was at the time, because you've been grinding so much in your life, you know? But it adds up. Everything adds up over time. You continuously grind day in and day out, okay? And nobody can tell you anything different. So shout out to anyone that took the gains with the lifer. And I just want to talk about how we went over this too on the daily time frame. So the last time Bitcoin had this interesting pump, right? It pumped. Let's see here. I'm like, where's my fractal? I'm like, no. Yeah, right here, right? So like the daily made this interesting pattern. It was almost identical to what we're seeing now. Like identical. Like the 21 was just crossing. We had just got above the 200 on the pump. We came back for the higher low to retest the key area, which was a previous resistance. Same thing here, previous resistance, which was the higher low, you know, right there. We retested that key level. We bounced right there. Previous resistance became support. All you had to know was SR flipping right there, like right where we came back, we bounced right there. Stop below the key level and use those wicks as stop losses. Like, I just love how you don't even have to know much about Fibonacci. You don't even know a lot of my stuff. You just have to know support and resistance, you know? And the last 3 days have just been marvelous. And we just looked at this idea that this was a very similar concept, similar place and time. Indicators were in a similar area. Just very, very odd. And here we are with Bitcoin just starting to do damage out of what looks to me like a broadening rising wedge. And we're going to break all this down and talk about it in a second. But this is what we were looking at the last 2 days, 3 days. I think, and I went over this on, I believe, you know, the day I came home. Even maybe the day before I got home. Another key concept we went over is how to trade the 21 on the weekly. And I went over this when I was in Dubai, because I wanted to give people like an you know, and you just get in when we close above the, you know. And I got in early, you know, down here 84,000. And again, the buys that I made down at 84K when the fear was very, very high. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. But when this fear gets very, very low, down to a 10, for me, it's just a must. Like, it's a have to buy. It's the key area that must be taken advantage of, because if I can't take it, if I can't buy the highs, then I must be able to buy the lows. You don't have a choice, you know, there's no choice there. So fear and greed, 65 now, and 10 was just so scrumptious. So scrumptious. Now, I'm not saying these aren't, it's always, in my humble opinion, a great time to add to BTC, but there's obviously better times to add to Bitcoin. And we even looked at this in the max, you know, and we looked at all the times that we went to 10, and it was like, you know, 7 or 8 really solid times. And that time just said, hey, you have to take advantage of me. I never go to 10. I'm a scientific area where you have to take Bitcoin down. So it is what it is. We nailed it, and we were able to buy the lows. We'll find out in history is that was the definite low, but it looks like we may have done it again. And just using this indicator, the stochastics RSI, and my 2-week chart. My 2-week. I love when the stochastics are low, right? We pulled the Fibonacci. We knew that we had bounced off of that golden pocket right there with the wick from that impulse. And then we had hidden bullish divergence, even on the 2-week chart. You know, but definitely on the weekly, it was so strong. The hidden bullish divergence. And I said how we had seen this exact story before for Bitcoin, where we had the, you know, hidden bullish divergence. And then when we pulled Fibonacci from that impulse there, right there, we had wicked down to the golden pocket, like right into it. So I just, you know, and we had a beautiful bounce. I'm not saying. And so anyway, I went off of what I've learned in the past, and I've seen this on multiple indicators, multiple assets, and you'd be looking at me, but that's looking in the past and playing it, but it's hidden bullish divergence. which tells me it's most likely going to play out, you know. Shout out to my pops, man. Shout out to my mom. God bless them both as the spring comes on, their favorite time of year. Thank you so much to everybody out here on the live. All right. So the weekly, we talked about these moves. We went over the big picture for you every single day here on this channel. We never wavered. We never, you know, and I went long. I told you guys I had to put my money where my mouth is. And I just got to go over these facts because as we continue to grow, so many people say a lot of things. But our actions speak louder than our words here on this channel, and we continue to push. Shout out to the strong lifers showing up right now. We got the awesome team here. Man, dear Lord, thank you for the amazing people here on the live. God bless each and every one of them. Shout out to the likes, too. Amazing that we have 300 people on that like. Thank you so much for all the blessed people here on the live. Hit that like button. Get the likes up to the watchers. I would greatly appreciate it. So Bitcoin, just looking strong, you know, and that weekly candle closes as such. I'm a happy camper. All I really want is a close above 98,005. I'll take anything above that. One step, one candle, one day at a time. But 98.5, we crushed 98.5 and we turn that into support on the weekly. We're going to be doing pretty good here for Bitcoin. 5-day chart, strong, bullish engulfing, out the boom. Little flag there. 3-day chart, almost saying, hey, I'm in the uptrending flag. Remember when we talked about it? Like the flags can start to become uptrending. You know, you get regular flags, then you get these just really, you know, and that says, hey, I'm going to break out. So you have to be ready for a monster move here, even on the 3-day chart. Look, there's not much resistance now. There's two little areas, 1, 2, and Bitcoin is back to its all-time high. People are going to begin to see that. People see that and begin to FOMO. They start freaking out. How come I didn't buy it on the low? I had all these chances. I saw that guy, the lifer. He called the bottom, but I didn't buy because I thought he was smug. What did I do? It happens, you know. People were all over it. And then they're like, you know what? I was about to buy. I just knew I should have. And then... So you even look here on the daily, and it looks like it's breaking out of a little bit of a mini flag here. I mean, that looks pretty interesting. You're above the 200 MA. You flagged out the 21 curving. Moving averages are saying this is when a big move happens. You got your measured move kind of planned out. That's 120K for Bitcoin. That's not that long from that. It's not that hard to get to. Like, that's just a few candles. You know what I mean? I mean, we just did it here. Like, if we took what would just happened in the last month, and that's what people, Bitcoin's crept up behind you. No pun, you know, but Bitcoin has just crept up, like, slowly, without people realizing what it did. It's in control. But if it just does what it just did right now, you're talking $111,000 BTC. Just this little move here. But the whole move actually is even bigger than that. But I could see, yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's looking very bullish. The daily looks nice and strong. So the daily candle, and the only thing I'll give you is a little bit of bearish divvy. You could say, well, the RSI is flat, but price is pushing up. That's a little bit of, you know, friction there. But besides that, everything else looks pretty good. You could say the same thing here, a little bit of bearish div on the 12, the 22. Oh, wow, that looks like the new 12-hour candle just, you know, opened 3 hours ago. That thing is looking like it's going to launch. The 4-hour candle looks bullish right now. The 1 hour looks like it's pumping. So this is what I've been watching here for Bitcoin. Is it going to flag out and bang out? Or is it going to go sideways here and make that right shoulder? And wow, there is that bounce to the upside out of the falling wedge that I've been kind of looking at. 7-minute, 5-minute time frame, right? Even the 1 minute. So look, you just got, there's my model too. You just got above the 200 MA on the 1 minute time frame. Interesting. did it there too as well. So I wouldn't jump so quickly, but I'd be looking for some type of consolidation here for Bitcoin. Nice pump though, about to get back to the daily high there of the morning. Absolute rippage on the 1 minute time frame. And it broke out, came back to the 200 MA and got a nice pump. Short squeezing. 99,600 for BTC. BOOKMAP looking healthy, just some liquidity to the downside, but not a lot. And you can see though, look at the shorts right there, up to 100,000. So we've got the liquidity to squeeze all the way up to 100K. I could see BOOKMAP ripping to $100,000 right there. Look at it. I mean, 100K is in reach. There's enough liquidity to get us to liquidate the shorts. Definitely in order. I mean, 100K is just right here. Probably, it might just even be just a wick, enough to tap it. Right now, we are just $300 away from $100,000 Bitcoin. When's the last time Bitcoin was at 100K? Let's take a look. All-time history index. Wow, it looks like it may just plow. Like, this could be a flag, and the flag could just decide I'm going to break out, right? I never know what Bitcoin's going to do. I just take advantage of all the different weird, strange nuances in TA that play out over time. Coincidentally or not, people call me lucky. People say, but how does it happen over and over again? You just keep showing up using the same strategies, and people will call you lucky. Really simple. Show up, use the same strategies over and over again. People will call you lucky. Day in and day out. Bitcoin ripping to the upside. About, to the areas where we closed earlier. Wow. And again, crossing the 200 MA on the 1 minute, booming. Looks unrealistic it's going to continue to pump, but you never know on a day like today. Anything is possible. I would not chase this at all, though. Not chasing is key. That's why it's good to pay yourself. Like, you wake up and you pay yourself. Like, well, I already made gains. I don't have to chase. There's always that, okay, I wish I was in for more. You never know, but you got to tell yourself no. And I'm so grateful that I made gains already. You know how many people lost everything? Or didn't make the same, or weren't able to make the same trade? So yeah, now we're looking for some type of flag here. If this is going to really continue to the upside. Wow, this is wild, right? Nice pump for Bitcoin. The whole world is watching. Is 100K coming for BTC? It looks like we're getting dang close to it, and it's only a matter of time. 99,686 on the futures for BTC. Why am I looking for a pullback? We're just really far from the 21 after a beautiful short squeeze above the 200 MA. I've seen this play out many times on on the morning trades too, that 9 to 10 a.m. area. 9 to like 11, right? It's really where the action happens. 10 to 11:30 for me. But we've been in trades all night, so I open up trades at 10 and I close them at 7 in the morning. This makes sense to me now. Come on back down. I mean, what a massive pump there, right? And it's Thursday, low volume, right? People are starting to get liquidated around the close edges of price action. And if you stay later on, I'm going to show you the 3 C's of altcoins. That's right. What do you mean? The 3 C's? Yeah, 3 C's. 3 coins that begin with a C. Tomorrow might be the 3 B's. You never know. Might be something we kind of do. But the 3 C's are coming at you. Stay tuned for more. Show you high risk, low risk, and something just kind of on the radar. And I can't wait to show you guys that. So stay tuned for more as we give you the 3 C's of altcoins. Shout out to the 1,770 beautiful souls here on the live. Let's get up the likes to the watchers. 383 people on that like button. And may God bless each and every one of you. If you are in the trading group, you got the education and the knowledge to make the gains that I did. You found out kind of what was happening and when I got out of my trades and why, right? But at 21-day moving average really is what drives me every time I'm in or out of a trade. Like right now, just far away from that 21. We're going to have to come back to it. That's what's happening. as we speak back to the 21-day moving average. 99,500 for Bitcoin. And you can see a lot of levels here too. And there's some liquidations all the way down to 99K as well. So it's not, it's not all hunky-dory up to 100,000. You can see we get to 98.99, but it's just not a lot. It does suggest that we consolidate a little bit, and it's only a matter of time that Bitcoin's going up somewhere to 100,000. The bigger time frames suggest a bigger move. And so we just, you hitch a ride on the smaller time frames. Another idea, just, that weekly above the 21-day moving average, just crushing it. I know it's one line, one idea, but it makes a lot of money. See, I started realizing, why not just trade one idea, one line? You get in right there when that was, oh my gosh, the gain right there is massive. But anyway, people are going to do whatever makes them happy, and you're going to do whatever makes you happy. If you like watching the stream, it's going to make you happy. God bless you. And thank you so much for jumping on in. Hope you're staying positive out there no matter what. And remember, everyone that got down and out, everyone that said that the market was over, everyone that said there was time to sell, what was I doing? I was gobbling up more BTC. What was I doing last week at 95, 94,000? The big dump we had recently, more Bitcoin. Right there as we were dumping, 92, 93,000, 93, more Bitcoin. More BTC over and over and over again. We do what we have to do in the hard times. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. But I do what I got to do to get by. When everyone else is bearish, I'm looking for opportunity. When everyone else thinks there's no opportunity, I'm looking for the gain. I know there's a place for me to jump on in. It's only a matter of time. We got to keep our mindset and our heads on tight. There's going to be opportunity out there, but we got to find it. So Bitcoin, as you can see, everything looks pretty bullish to me. We are getting a little far away for the 21 on the 4 hour. But the 1 hour, look at that. I mean, we could just, so there could be a right shoulder, had a right shoulder. I'm open-minded. See shoulder, like I had a right shoulder here. It could happen. And that's why we're watching, Bitcoin on the smaller time frames here. Like such. We end up losing this key level. About 99,171. We're going to drop somewhere down to here, 98,008, and then 98.5. I don't want to lose 98.5. So I know my weekly levels. So then when I'm on the smaller time frames, I know what levels to watch too as well. All right. Let's take a look at the CME. Everyone's always like, oh, is there any CME gaps? What's happening on the futures? Let's take a look. So there's a bit of a gap right here at 92,000. Some could say, hey, that didn't really get filled there on the daily time frame, right? But not all gaps have to get filled for sure, but just putting that out there is a gap. Any gaps up here, nothing to kind of look in front. And on the 4 hour, no. So pretty good, but that is a gap right there. A gap all the way at 92K. Interesting. Yeah, and then I just wanted to show you one other thing for Bitcoin on Bybit Spot here. Yeah, so we talked about this too, breaking out. We were here, we said, can you break out to the top of the pattern? And we did that. Now, are we outside of this trend is the question. And to me, yes, like that's a bump and run. You got outside of the pattern for sure. Which now means you could, run up even more. The 4 hour says, hey, let's go all the way to 101.6. Like, why not? Like, 99 is 100 is a 101, So today it looks like we'll go sideways. Bitcoin could find its way, and we might even pump into tonight. All right. But there is that, BOOKMAP's liking that liquidity down at 98,009 and 99,100 for BTC. So those are the key levels that we're looking for. If we do have to bounce, that's the levels you'd want to hold. And now if you fall back inside this trend line, of course, we could see some lower lows from these areas here, on the 4 hour. And the 21's pretty far away. But I'm looking for something crazy to happen. Pull it up. you know? At the same time, I'm not in a trade right now with this, you know, but that's also good because it means I'm looking and I'm hungry. All right, if I was already in it, I'd just be sitting pretty, but I already paid myself too. I'm not going to be giving back the gains that I made. That's so important. 99.5 is holding nicely here for BTC. So if you're just jumping on in, we're watching the 1 minute inside of this tight little cocoon here. It just broke above the 200 MA. We'd like to see that hold. Like to see Bitcoin kind of find its way here. The bearish tone is that we could make a right shoulder. You know, I'm looking, you could make a shoulder ahead, a possible right shoulder, and that would break down, you know, somewhere down into here to 99.3, 98.3. I'd like to hold 98.5. That's also a weekly support and resistance. So, yeah. So the bigger time frame suggests that a move is coming. The 1 hour just had a nice little pump for Bitcoin back to the top of, you know, the channel here. The 30 minute looks bullet, like everything's looking pretty nice. And so we're just watching. The smaller time frames really are needed because can't really get that much information right now anywhere else. The 30 second is a little much, but yeah, the 1 minute. And we're really just, you know, we're looking for consolidation here for the next hour, 2 hours inside the end of this channel. This consolidates tightly. I mean, the huge chance we're breaking out. It starts to break down. That's that right shoulder, and we don't. So if you lose the 200 MA and the 1, then we're going to look at it for the 5 and so on and so forth. So yes, this can teach us a lot about what's going to happen throughout the day. And in the next 2-3 hours, we're going to get some confirmation here for Bitcoin. Would I trade this? I mean, yeah, possibly, because we're already kind of in the gain already. So if this ends up playing out pretty nicely, let me take a look at how the trade could play. And I like to set these up beforehand. And again, you could trade these on MEXC, on Weeks, or BitTNX. Jump on it today. MEXC has the lowest amount of fees if you want to jump in. Best for anyone international, trading whatever, if it suits your fancy. Weeks is awesome though. You know, no KYC, easy. You know, no VPN needed, just Weeks is awesome. And then BitTNX is a great place to scalp small time frames as far as I'm concerned if you know what you're doing. But you got to know what you're doing. All right, one step, one moment at a time there. And again, if you're going to trade leverage, I would trade demo trading. See that? They have it here on MEXC. They have it on Weeks. I would demo trade. That way you know how to press the buttons, shorting and longing, back and forth. Whatever happens, you're using play money to get acquainted with the system, understand what's happening. It's the most beneficial way, and in my humble opinion, to get the education you need if you're going to start doing any type of trading. So yeah, I'm looking for this to go sideways, and I'm looking for the possible trade. Yeah, wow, it looks like we could go to 103,170. Hey, you know, the stop would be at like 98,904. And always proper risk management on a trade. That's like 900 for 5,000. You see that? 2,000. 1,900 for 12,000. Yeah, I'll take it all day long, right? So trade something like that. And so we'll be watching this trade, but it's definitely something on my radar. And Bitcoin, we could see a huge pump for Bitcoin today to 103. It could happen. This is possible. And I'm open-minded to take advantage of it if it is possible. If it's not, we'll make a right shoulder, we'll dump. We'll lose the 200 MA on the 5. You know, if we're bearish, what will happen is we'll lose this 200 MA, this 200 period moving average on the 5 minute time frame, and then we'll start to drop. And then, you know, this is more likely the shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder that we were talking about. And that's fine. And then I can look for a better entry at another time, go for a walk, you know, risk my mind and see kind of what's happening. And I don't even have to take the trade. So I'm going to wait for the price action to tell me whether the trade is the right trade to take. Understand? And again, what if it pumps so hard you miss it? I've seen that happen too. It could all happen. You know, but I don't want to be someone who's chasing. So we got to watch it closely. We could be, you know, I don't want to be chasing trades too fast. It's looking pretty bullish though too. It's like, you know, you get this feeling, is it gonna just pump me out to the wayside and just rip? Maybe it does, and you get left out. And that's why I buy a huge amount spot at 84K, so I never feel left out. Like, I still got my gains. All right, shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. And shout out to BitDNX, man. Shout out to anyone that used BitDNX. We made gains on BitDNX the last few days, just over and over again. I'm just loving the platform. It makes it simple and easy to get in and out. Set that stop loss and let it do its thing. So same thing here too. Like, you know, we're looking to see if there's some more gains to be had or if it's making that right shoulder. Is 99.5 going to become that resistance point? Are we getting tighter for more pumpage? Like, we get to like $101,000 BTC sooner than later, and that's what we're looking for. Wow, Bitcoin looking like it wants to rip. I'll be honest, like, seeing that bullishness. What if it just boom, 100K in 2 seconds? It feels like anything is possible here for Bitcoin. BOOKMAP, link in the description of BOOKMAP. If you like BOOKMAP, it just shows you where liquidity is. It's awesome. I can see where people are going to get liquidated, where there's a lot of levels of where there's a lot of money at. Like that $100,000 area right there, that's a liquidation for a short, and these are liquidations for a long. And it also shows you real-time data as Bitcoin is moving by the second and giving you that price action immediately. 99,600 for Bitcoin, very close to that high there on the morning. It was like 99,820. Doing a lot not to FOMO in. You can't, you know, I don't want to jump on in. But you start wondering, okay, how tight is it? It broke out already technically. Then you start seeing this as like another flag then. Like maybe I'm honing in on that. So I'm always zooming in, seeing how I can see it differently, seeing if there's another perspective, and staying open-minded. And then always checking the risk on the trades. And that's like a 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio every time, or otherwise I'm not taking the trade. You got to know your risk too. Every single time you trade, you must know your risk. You know, when you pull off a win, there's a reason why you pull the win off in the way you do. It's all about proper risk management. For me, it's 3-to-1, or I just don't, you know, maybe every once in a while it's a 2.5, but it's very rare. It's a 3-to-1, 3-to-1, 3-to-1. Wow, this is getting crazy here. I'm attempting to identify the entry. Bitcoin could rip to 100K. Right now, we're only a few $100 away from $100,000 Bitcoin. And we'll be back at it again, rejoicing. 100K Bitcoin, 100K Bitcoin, baby. Wow, 99,750. Takes a lot not to chase right now. You just got to keep your cool. And on rips like that, I just kind of usually take a break. Now, money's going to be flowing into these altcoins. This is good, right? The more Bitcoin pumps, I know you have Bitcoin dominance, but the more Bitcoin pumps, the more money can flow into BTC. All right. Shout out to the 2,248 people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show. So this is looking hot. Looking very hot. Honestly, I could see it getting to 101,000. And if we get the pump, I could see us definitely getting to $101,000 BTC for sure. So we're waiting for this sideways price action, but I'm liking this right now. So if I got to like 100,995, And I'm not in the trade just yet. I'm just starting to kind of take a look at a gander at the trade. And everyone, keep getting those likes up. You get those likes up, thousands of people are headed to the stream. All you people that hit us to 500 likes, you got us to 2,200 people here on the live. Thank you for all those beautiful souls. Thank you for jumping on into the live. We appreciate you. And so the stop would have to be somewhere like 99,405. Now, I'm not saying I'm getting into this trade just yet. I'm just starting to map out a possible idea here. And this is an account we continue to grow. 121 for 470. Let's take a look at that 1 minute time frame. What's going on here? So we broke out this kind of like what felt like a flag in a way. Almost feel like you have to, is this like the rising wedge? See, like this. I'm just going off of all the things I've seen in my life that have, created a pretty big pump to the upside. Now, this is also my strategy, right? We're touching the 21. We're above the 200 MA. And, it says we could get a bit of a pump. I feel like it's a bit of a chase right now with the way price action is. Now, I've already won about $3,000 today, so I can risk. That's the thing. I could risk $300 and lose it. I'd be okay. And everyone always says that. And I'm like, well, that's what happened today. It's just the facts. You know what I mean? It depends on where you are in your trades too. Are you up on your trades? It depends. Shout out to the chat revenue, $5.33. God bless you. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Now, the cool thing about this is you lose the 200 MA. This is all a wrap. It's that right shoulder on the bigger time frame and it's over. Right? No trade has to be made until we see what we're looking for. I only trade what my model tells me to trade. I don't have to force it. And I only trade less risk from what I've already made each day. As a rule, a day trading rule. Now I have day trading rules. I have swing trading rules. I have DCA rules. Like it depends. Dollar cost averaging in the long term. Days I have to add to the portfolio. Days I don't. It depends. I don't make it up. I do whatever the portfolio tells me to do based on what the charts are giving me, right? If the charts give you a low day and it's time to take advantage, I take advantage. If not, it's not. It all depends. All right, we go up and down no matter what. Back and forth. $99,581 here for Bitcoin. Can we get this bounce? Can I enter the trade on this insane rising wedge that's going to pump possibly to 100K, or do we make this right shoulder and dump? Blessings on blessings to everybody out here on the live. Thank you for being here. And may God bless everyone that jumped on in to the live stream. And look, about cat ears right there. Look at that. A little bit of divergence. You lose the 200 MA. That's a wrap. Remember, no trade was made here. We did not jump in. We're waiting. Had that bounce and gotten tight, confirmation of subconscious, right? Look, that's a double bottom. That's an M now. Now you have to say, well, is that going to continue to break the 200 MA and dump? Possibly. Now, I already sold my trades. I was expecting a bigger pullback, but if they're going to continue to pump, I have to play with what they give me. I'd like Bitcoin to go sideways and down a little bit to help these altcoins pump. Move some of this money back into altcoins. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin dominance right now for a split second, just to see if anything has changed here on Bitcoin dominance. Yes, a little bit of a pullback here. This could be it. See that? This is what we want to see, and we want to see this dump down to the 200 MA. Yes, please. And this could just give us, even if it's a relief rally for the altcoins, but something to chew on. Let's take a look at ETH BTC. When you see that, you want to take a look. We're also going to look at US Tether dominance. And look at that. ETH Bitcoin getting back above the 200 MA on the 4-hour time frame for the first time in forever. Shoulder, shoulder, head, kind of shoulder, shoulder, you could say. Finally breaking back to the upside. Is ETH going to come and start ripping against Bitcoin? Finally, it looks pretty good to me. And that was our ETH rally right there, ETH BTC, and it's above the 200 MA on the 4-hour time frame. You would expect more movement for ETH Bitcoin. So a big statement for ETH Bitcoin. I like what I'm seeing. Let's take a look at Sol Ethereum. Sol ETH All right, losing the 200 MA, but this will be a battle because Sol, if it picks up steam, they'll both pump together. And if the market rips, you would expect Sol ETH just to continue to beat up on ETH, even if ETH is hot. Even if ETH is hot. A bounce off the 200 MA here. And so, look, I mean, I'm open-minded. Look what could be happening. Are you playing chess with me, or are you just, shoulder, head, right shoulder? Are you ready to flip at the speed of light? Is your mind ready to see something differently the second it changes? Are you stuck in the past? Or can you move with the future? Are you always finding the next opportunity in the trades? Or are you thinking it has to be given to you, spoon-fed, and it has to be exact? Oh, no, it's not, the lifer drew 2 trades. Oh, exactly, because we need to be on our heels. We never know what's going to happen. We never know what's coming our way here on Bitcoin. We must be able to pivot foot. How about the Celtics falling apart last night, up 20 points in the 7th minute in the 4th quarter? That's horrendous. That's the tortoise and the hare type of thing, thinking you're up so much that you start playing lackadaisical ball. And next thing you know, you give it all up and lose by a point. And that's what happens when you don't pay attention. That's like winning all week and then giving all your gains back on a few trades in seconds. I've seen people do it. I've done it. I've made gains in 2-3 weeks. It took me to be so disciplined. I've given them back in literally under 5 minutes. I don't do that anymore. I know it can happen fast, so I stayed vigilant and very, very disciplined with my trading. 1 or 2 moves can ruin everything. You know it, and I know it. People try to claim it can't happen. It can. It's exactly how it happens, to be honest. So right here, we're looking for this bounce off the 200 here on the 1 minute time frame. Kind of crucial, more crucial than people realize for Bitcoin. Up there you go. That falls, and you're going to break down somewhere to here. I mean, 99,000 is holding nicely. But they keep testing these key levels. They can only, you keep testing that level over and over again. It's going to break. Come down to 99,441. It's all about the 200. You got to stay above that 200 too as well. If you don't, you're going to fall. You're going to fall for more. Okay. Shout out to everybody in the chat. How's the chat doing? How's your family? How's your aunt, uncle, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, nephew? Hope your family, son and daughter are your awesome kids. God bless everybody here. Let's take a look at the fan funny here in the chat. Giga chat up trending for a month. Thoughts? Thank you. Trump started talking. Okay. We did it live in Dubai, bro. We did. Shout out to the Crypto Factor. I love you, man. We did it live in Dubai. Learning so much from you, Sam. My son and I were backtesting Bitcoin 21 crossing the 20, and every time we get a huge pump for months. They come between 50 and 100 saying, bull run is on, baby. Shout out to Luca. Strongalos. I'm telling you, man, the backtesting is key. We have a bunch of people that know how to backtest, know what they're doing, creating strategy here. Look, he's backtesting with his son. This is the type of channel where people backtest with their kids. I mean, what else would I want to hear? That is a blessing. That means I've done my job. Dear Lord, thank you so much for today. For the rest of today, I'm going to write that down. Backtesting with their kids. That's the type of people that you're creating. That's the type of people God sent into my life. The people that backtest with their kids. And neural AI ripping. Everything around Ethereum is going to be ripping. A lot of Uniswap coins will rip. I wouldn't be surprised if right now we get a bit of a pump here. Look, this could be a beautiful inverted head and shoulder. See, the thing is, what people don't realize is I figure it out in real time, vulnerable. I may look lost in the sauce, confused. Never really, though. I'm just like an architect, a guy, an archaeologist. I'm just like someone digging in the sand. I'm looking. For a second, I only see a piece. I'm not sure what it is, but eventually I'm going to put together the puzzle, and I'm going to see what's happening. Remember yesterday how we traded the 5-minute bounce off that 200 MA and I stayed there? I eventually won that trade. You know, 2 times they got me, but I came back for more, won both those losses and more. And won this other one too last night, so cleaned it up nicely. And now here we are battling the 200. Neural ripping. God bless you and the family, Sam. Lifers for life. No bitter family. Shout out to Milligan's Travels. Thank you so much for the 10 pound. And you didn't have to give, but you did. And shout out to Ivan Roke. We're going to take a look at Neural too. Just watching this key level right here for Bitcoin. Can we bounce off that 200 MA back to the top of the channel? Let's take a look at Neural AI. And yeah, I'm still in a lot of these coins, just believing that we're going to have a big rally at one point. You know, that's something I do say. I don't say believe and feel, but that's what I have to believe. You know, you got to have conviction for what you already kind of believed in. Yeah, ripping off the bottom. This had a good team. You know, no reason to stop doing what it was doing. No reason to, you know, just really Ethereum. Once Ethereum starts to move, I could see everything on Ethereum that had a good team, good process starting to pump. This gets above that level. I could see it rip up to $7.81 pretty fast. Shout out to Margaret. Blessing Sam. Thanks for all you do. Your teaching is awesome. Can you look at XLM for us, please? Thank you. God bless you, Margaret. Thank you so much. Yeah, we did it live in Dubai, man. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. But we had people join the group. Thank you so much. Or become exclusive lifers on just on the channel. Thank you. Giga Chat up and trending for a month. Thank you. We'll take a look at Giga Chat. If you open a trade, we'll pump past 100K. Amen. I know, right? Shout out to Juan Prats, man. God bless you. Blessing Sam. And we'll look at XLM. So we looked at Neural AI. We're going to look at XLM. And then... boom. And then, yep. XLM. Neural ripping. Oh, yeah. And Giga Chat. I'll look at Giga Chat right now because we're right here. Just where I would see it. Giga Chat. $195 million market cap for Giga Chat. And I mean, it took a dump like everything else. But, you know, just like Neural, it's at that low level where it's attempting to bounce. You see? I mean, I can see it head back to the top of the channel, but then it's probably going to just do its thing here. But if it goes sideways, it could continue to pump. Measured move would bring it to about 0.37, and then it could rip all the way back up there just through liquidity. I don't know. I don't think I would trade it, but hey, a lot of these coins are going to pump back to their highs. But hey, you know, you'd have to really believe in a meme and have conviction in it too as well. So that's up to you. That takes a lot to have conviction in the meme at that point. Let's take a look at Stellar Lumens for Margaret Ness. Margaret, thank you. And now look, we're bouncing off the bottom of the channel. As expected here for Bitcoin. Back above the 200 MA there on that 1 minuto, right? Time frame. Had that little bull flag, came up, bearish, you know, bearish divergence, double top resistance, came back down. Now we're hanging out inside the channel. Is Leia finished? Leia AI. You know, anything is possible for the AI coins, but I mean, yeah, I mean, no one talks about it. It gets no love. But I mean, if they're still building, still working, hey, it's higher than it was down here. So it tells me, hey, there could be a chance. But at this point, it's just tucked away inside my wallet, waiting for another rainy day, you know. But hey, you never know. You never know. Alchemist AI came back pretty nicely. And so far, it's still actually going pretty well sideways here. And so anything is possible. It really is. 99,450 for Bitcoin. Signs of life here off the bounce. Be crazy to long it right there and just be like, I'm out. I'm in right now off the aggressive bottom entry. Nice bounce. Probably at least back to the top of the channel, though. Get rejected by 99.8 again. Got to play to pay. Make it a live stream. What up, Sammy? I made it to alive. God bless you, man. Shout out to Matt. Thank you so much for the super chat. God bless you. You didn't have to do that, but you did. Thank you so much for coming on in. And let's take a look at Stellar Lumens for Margaret in the 3Cs coming up at about 11:20. The 3Cs, 3 altcoins that look interesting to me. The triple entendre, the 3Cs. Let's take a look at Stellar Lumens here. And I just have it in big accumulation on like the 3-day chart. Pretty boring idea here. Nice bounce off the 4-hour 200 MA though. The lows probably were in at about 21 cents. Already sitting pretty at 27 and went to a high of 29. But yeah, I'm watching on these big time frames, accumulation in the DCA zone. Dollar cost average. To me, it's got a shoulder ahead, right shoulder, bit of a cup and handle. That could be one of the last chances to buy it right here. Previous resistance is support. And so I just see Stellar Lumens eventually taking off with the rest of those coins, XRP, doing that whole ISO 200, whatever, people get, but it is the future of money, apparently. But I wouldn't be surprised, when XDC's in there, Stellar Lumens, XRP. So just watch it closely. Flare's even getting some love recently because it's connected. You got the airdrop for Flare. So I'd watch it closely. And Stellar Lumens does look like it's going to be a big mover. And so, yeah, but it's going to take a long time. These are long-term swing trades. Yeah. Last one for me, Sammy. D-Sync. Thank you. Destra. Yeah, gets pushed a lot by the man himself. Becker, right? He was all about this, and a bunch of people are kind of like, man, I never bought in, but it was getting the buzz. To me, this would be the lowest price possible before it pumps. It's like triple bottomed. So either you believe in the coin and you think it's going to moon, or you don't. It's one of those at this point. If it moons, you're going to be happy you bought the bottom. If not, then hey, you forget about it and you bought the bottom. I wouldn't put I would only put what I was willing to lose in something like this on the low. And again, I wouldn't even buy, I'd rather buy like Cardano or even DCA into Bitcoin or grab some more SWE. For me personally, high risk, high reward though. It is sitting pretty at like 13 cents. It could rip all the way back to 51. So hey, you'll get, it's high reward for the risk. There's a high risk here, but there's a high reward. It does look like you're buying somewhat pretty close to the bottom. Even the daily looks pretty beat up. And you can get a beautiful move back to the 200 MA. It's almost like a double bottom there. But again, it's high risk, as I said before, and it's not my cup of tea. But you're not tracing the premium. You're definitely buying discount. So hey, I hope you got, a good vibe out of that. Shout out to Brandon Varela. Thank you. We appreciate you, man. Yeah, man, Sammy, what's your thoughts on Quant? Quant moves slow. I don't know about this Gen Z Quant. Is that something different? Yeah. Quant would be Quant. Yeah. Quant moves super slow. The last time I traded Quant was in Vegas years ago, when it made like an inverted head and shoulder here, like November of 2023, I believe, and it had a nice pump. I remember it. Since then, I haven't looked at it, and it hasn't even been the prices it was in 2023. Look at that. It's the last time Quant looked somewhat interesting to me out the inverted head and shoulder. Now it's attempting to get above the daily 200 MA, which is bullish. That's a bullish. Bitcoin getting a pump here. Let's take a look. 99,588, just kind of doing its thing. Just want to make sure it wasn't running away there. Quant above the 200 MA there, and they're pulling the 21-day moving average too as well on the daily time frame. And then you can kind of see it's doing a bit of a rising way. It wants to rip. It's an old school coin. Seems like it's getting some love right now. And wow, it has been ripping since 75. I see it ripping all the way up to 111. And then it probably cools down, but I do see a pump to 111 here for Quant. Altcoin starting to get amazing, and that money's going to flow. Every time Bitcoin pumps too and goes sideways for a while, it tells you that we're not going to give it all back. The market has shifted. And then people are ready. They're like, you know what? I want to see more pumpage. Someone asked for Cardano here on the Super Chats. Let's take a look at Cardano. Beautiful pump for Cardano out of the flag to the upside. Tight moving averages bouncing off the 2 May. And, you know, starting to get a pretty big move here to the upside here for Cardano. That's a rippage. And I see that following the Ether train here. And first stop for Cardano is 80 cents. The next stop is 89. And I see why it won't look shoulder, head, right shoulder above the 2 May. I don't see why Cardano can't rip further to the upside for Shuzi. Thank you for the $100 super chat. Shout out to everybody here. The 1,900 and 1,300 beautiful souls here on the live. 600 likes. Thank you so much, man. Get the likes up to the watchers. You people are awesome and amazing. I'm blessed to be here with each and every one of you. I love your show, says Brandon Varela. It's amazing how hard you work. I've been watching AI16 since the beginning, and they have a live Discord today along with them working with the SEC. Let's take a look at AI16Z. And I like this coin too. You know, a lot of coins are in this beautiful flag. And they were just waiting on what Bitcoin wanted to do, and enough people were kind of toying with it. But to me, I mean, I see most coins breaking out and then continuing. And the lows were bought for the people that were, you know, weren't afraid of the fear. Look at that thing down at 10 cents, and it's already at 28, you know, 29. Almost did a 3x already from the lows. And I see more coming for this coin that never stopped working, kept moving. Shout out to Stefan Mallet. We'll take a look at Velo Protocol. Thank you so much for the Canadian $6.99. And shout out to everybody here. It's feeling like a bull run. Bitcoin, 99,680. And you can see there's some short squeeze action up there, all the way up to $100,000 Bitcoin. We want 100K and we want it now, says the crowd, as they yell and yell for more Satoshis. 1,933 beautiful people here on the live. 621 likes. $116 in chat revenue. Watch it, BOOKMAP, rip. God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of the live. If you weren't here, you wouldn't make up this amazing crowd. Each and every one of you does what it does. You are all one. We are all grains of sand that make the beach. Together we combine and form something bigger than ourselves. And that's how the stream is. It's amazing. It's a miracle to have you all here. We're going to take a look at Velo Protocol. So AI16Z. You know, if you want to be extra tight, you could say, oh, we got this. We may come back down, but that's looking pretty good to me over time. Even bigger breakout, somewhere back to about 46 cents. 48, 49 cents. Yeah. Let's take a look at Velo Protocol. Velo, baby, Velo. Last time I looked at Velo, it looked pretty interesting, and it's got that inverted head and shoulder. Let's talk about it. Shoulder. Head. Right shoulder. I mean, that tells me it's going to break to the upside, and that's what's going to be happening. 68% of the time, an inverted head and shoulder is going to break up the neckline to that head all the way to about, what? 021, and you know, and that looks like a pretty penny move here to the upside. I like what I'm seeing here for Velo. High or low with the bounce and cup and handle status. And again, even an entry there with a stop below the right shoulder is possible here on these inverted head and shoulders. Velo looking like a nice move is coming to the upside. And you may have bought the bottom for Velo too before bigger gains. That's a thing. But who knows? I'm not a financial advisor. Another guy saying you should be taking this financial advice. You have to look at this yourself and get the education of a lifetime every single day showing up. If you want to trade where I trade, everybody, we have a pinned comment that makes it very simple to do so. Okay? Here in that live chat. And here on the pinned comment, you could join Weeks, Bit10X, or MEXC. Sign up today to find out more. All right. And you can see that's where I'm trading spot. You know, I DC into Bitcoin on those places. That's where I'm also swing trading Bitcoin. All coins and everything that I'm doing on those 3 awesome exchanges. I watched live for buy a whole Bitcoin at 20K. Those haters in the chat are gone. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't look at anybody. God bless everybody here on the live. I've been buying Bitcoin 20K, 84K, right? 78,000, 81,000. And it's not a contest. It's just, this is what we do every single day here on the channel. Shout out to the 2,085 beautiful souls. Look at this, 2,085 beautiful souls here on the live. $116 in chat revenue. 147 people are getting that karma back for that beautiful like button. Dear Lord, thank you for everyone that hits that like button. You're amazing. Cookie Dow, please. Look at Token Vibe, please. Let's take a look at Rio, another RWA coin that I've been gearing up to look at. So it's like once every altcoin rips, every altcoin begins to rip. You're gonna see shoulder, head, kind of right shoulder there. And then the breakout out the flag too. Just like everything wants to just absolutely just boom. So, you know, I know kind of dipping them back inside and I just want to keep ripping. I mean, that looks like it's going to 48, 44 cents sooner than later. Can you take a look at XCN, which follows, you know, you think would start following. I'd look at XCN to make a giant inverted head and shoulder here. It may take its time and then eventually break out. That looks like it's going to take some time though. All right. Yeah, shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I think we need a new BitToNext link, everyone. I think it's broken, Jamie. Yeah, I think we need a different BitToNext link. You could be right, because it's going to like an event. For sure. We get that fixed as soon as possible, or just double check on it. Yeah. That could have been happening for a few days because it looked like something was up there. I'll be honest. Sean or Jamie, could you check the BitToNext link? Yeah. And maybe they're wrong, but it could be right because look, I'm hitting it and it just takes you to register. But again, because I'm already in, I can't get the same. I don't get the same thing that they get. Right. So anyway, moving forward. But thank you. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah. ETH finally above 2,000. Amazing, right? What do you think VRA could go long-term-ish? SCI, please. Ivan wrote. XRP, Jeremy Phil, Luna Marigold Machine. Oh, I don't know what that is. I mean, any coin associated with Bitcoin's gonna, with Ethereum's gonna start ripping. And even Bitcoin's looking like it's gonna get a bit of a move here. It's very interesting here. There's no real method to the madness. You know, these patterns are pretty wacky. But here, we're about to go to 100K in front of the world right now. There it is. There it is. I saw $100,000 Bitcoin. Oh my gosh, and there it is. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. And a lot of people are going to chase. You can't chase that. But look, you were waiting for that right shoulder, and it just took off. $100,000 Bitcoin on the live. We're back to saying we are up 100x on my Bitcoin buys at $1,000. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 100K for Bitcoin. Shout out to everybody that saw it. It was short-lived. It was a crazy move. So they tapped under. They're like, yeah, fine, we did it. You know, almost 100,200 on that move. But I mean, pretty crazy price action, if you ask me. That feels better than the first time, I know, right? Not looking back. I don't know. I mean, that looked like a liquidity grab to me. We'll see what happens. Pretty strange price action, if you ask me. Would have been nice if we went nice and sideways and then broke out the right way. but maybe we could do it again. You feel like we're just going to go right back to 100K again right now. Like, just like we did it once, we can do it again. One would say, okay, we could just break above. If the stop is like right there at about 99, for me, it would have to be at about 99,225. Just see, keep the stop below the 200 and see if it can rip. I mean, it's a crazy times for crazy measures. We go below the 200, we lose the money. If not, we let it fly. Very simple. Basically, 200 MA trading on that 1 minute. And we look for it to consolidate throughout the day. If not, pump. Hey, heard you about ball just released just LMXE. I just woke up in despair last night and about to let the market liquidate me. Today I've woken up 4K in profit. What happened? Everything changed for you, Thomas. You hung out and you made it through, buddy. And you made it through. God bless everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Almost to 1,000 likes here on the live. And so we jump back in. We're going to see where this thing goes. And there's just really no crazy method to the madness here. Honestly, you could just do this. I'm just back to my old tricks with the 200 MA. I mean, but you could say, that's a pretty nice pattern. And we broke out, retested, and broke out again. It says we'll go to 100,005 and we'll go from there. But man, it feels so good to see $99,000 Bitcoin back again. And what a night to have weekly screen share, kind of get back to brass tacks, talk about what's happening. Everything. Wow, look at that nice move for Bitcoin back to $100,000. And here we go. And here we go. And now we're in the money again with the move. Boom. And so I told you, man, we were going all the way to the upside. Can we all the way go to 101,350 to the target? I mean, look at that thing mooning. And now we can move the stop loss to break even. And there Bitcoin goes, baby. There she blows. There she blows. $100,000 Bitcoin on the live. My goodness, look at this craziness. Trying to stay in these trades is insanity. Gotta sell 100K on that line though, right? I move my stop right there. They'll probably hatch me. No. Get away. They got me. But what a crazy move, man. Even just to be a part of that pump, man. And it took guts. I had to use some strategy. Figured they would have hit the 200 MA before they pumped it again. And that's exactly what happened. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing rips all the way. I mean, this thing's probably going to continue to moon now. $100,000 BTC. And there's just no rhyme or reason. Just gone, baby, gone. What a pump for BTC. Shout out to everyone jumping on in. Shout out to anyone that's watching this pump for Bitcoin to $100,000. And I call that bottom at 84K. And if you bought $84,000 Bitcoin with me, you're up huge. So congratulations to anyone that jumped in at those key levels. And we even bought, 78, 76. And you gotta love it, man. What a move here for Bitcoin. Whole market going crazy. People wilding out. Money getting flung all across the world. And now the FOMO continues. And I even said last night in the live in the group. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate you, buddy. I got in on it, Sammy. Shout out to my man. Shout out anyone that traded with us last night, too. Those trades just continued to rip. And even that 4-hour trade continued to rip. And so you can say whatever you want about the lifer and my crazy strategies, but they're playing out insanely. I mean, what a move. The bull run is back. People said the bull run was never gone. Let's go Burj Khalifa wicks. I know, right? The size of the Burj Khalifa. And we got 2,155 beautiful souls. They bring the pump. The pump brings everybody back in on the Google, right? They start watching. Massive move here for Bitcoin to the upside. And look at that. I mean, kind of a shoulder, had a little bit of a right shoulder, really. And then this thing was gone. But I said, you got to watch these small time frames. That's how you can figure out what's going to happen to Bitcoin. No other way. No other way to do it. And I'll teach you. Right now, if there's going to be a continuation, we're going to pump. 1 minute's going to continue to pump in some way, shape, or form here. Wow. Craziness that this thing is just, you know, $100,000 Bitcoin. And it's on, you know, all night, all long, you know, altcoins all night, all day. I'm going to be pumping out altcoins. And we got the 3 C's for you coming at you too right now. Nobody calls it like Sammy. Nobody. Hope you got some. I did. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Crypto Billy in the house. Mr. Flawless in the house. Jamal Antonio in the house. Lakazaski in the house, man. That long is making my year. Man, shout out to Jamal. Shout out to Crypto Plumber. And look at this thing. It's continuing to moon. You almost need the 30-second chart here. It's just, you know. And, you know, I figured $101,000 was just a guarantee because, you know, how could you not flow off? You know, a grand is now like a nothing compared to 100,000. And isn't it crazy? Weren't we just at $84,000? Weren't we just at 94? Weren't people just bearish at 92,000? All right. We're all in the house. Shout out to Crypto Cash. Shout out to everybody here. 2,200 souls on the live, 757 likes. And we're getting that move to the upside here for Bitcoin. Unbelievable. After the trip to Dubai, you come home to $100,000. They waited to get me home. It could have went to 100K in Dubai, but they waited. We got rejected by 98,000 a couple times. And I said, you never know. You got to watch that 200 MA and the way price action was moving. Shoulder had right shoulder, and then boom. $100,000 Bitcoin did it come. It did a come. It did a come. It did a came. It came. You know, it did storming through like a freight train, 100K. And now we're sitting beautifully at $100,400 Bitcoin. We find a way to be with Sammy on these milestone days somehow. Good thing, man. I know. Only lifers are built different. Amen. Tariff is getting softer. I can't believe how bearish people were. I told you know, tariffs were going to eventually create a good thing for the country over time, which created incentives, which creates financial, you know, movement. Do the same thing over and over to get the same results. Do something different, you're going to get different results. Different results create financial movement. I'm excited to see where we go and what could happen. And here would be the next trade, something like this here. See if we can bounce, get tight, and head to $102,000 and $400. Not saying it's guaranteed to happen, but this would be the continuation pump if we get it. Super chat send VRA Puffin Soul. We still got that beautiful trade open here too on almost up 93%. Actually up 108% now. Ripping. And I hadn't traded ETH in years. It was my first ETH trade in a long time. And we showed you how we get it done. All right. I just did it just to prove to you guys it was ready to. And remember, I don't trade ETH ever. And I'm like, I'm going to open up an ETH trade. You guys are, well, that's weird. And then it's up huge. I said to my wife, I haven't traded ETH in years. And then I traded one time and the trade's up huge. I said, I got it. I got this, you know, I like what I'm doing here with this trading stuff. I said I'm comfortable. Hey, not go, you know. But look, this is a cup and handle on Sen. I can see this thing ripping, and the target is 10. Yeah, 10.9. Thank you for what you taught me. Congrats on your success. Congrats on your success, man. Yeah. Best US-UK trade deal would be if you take our entire government and give us a bag of potatoes in exchange. I know, right? Had no money to invest in DCA, so I was very scared. Hey, let's take a look at VRA, Veracity. Massive pump for Veracity. Again, connected to the Ethereum ecosystem. Like, all these old coins that rip when ETH rips are ripping because ETH ripping finally. And finally, with ETH ripping, we can get a movement, right? We can get some love back inside these ecosystems. Even enough for some people to sell off to create liquidity back into something new. I feel like it has to come back to the 21 first before it gets its next pump, though. I'd be looking for something like that on VRA. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm looking for. I wouldn't chase it. Puff on Soul. Someone wants me to show them how to be how to puff it up. Puff on Soul. Let's take a look at Puff here. Puff on Soul. What was this thing? Little Puff? Was that it? Little Puff? Yeah, 6.4. Little Puff. Wow, it's got a mighty puff there, huh? The pufferfish, that's all I always think about. I mean, it's been ripping since it came out at the end of April. It's had a monster month. And you would assume that it would continue to go up. It's in a monster, you know, but who knows? I don't know anything about it. It's a meme. It's up to you in the community, but it does look like, hey, why would it stop if it hasn't stopped? Now, the trend's your friend until it's not. It's in an uptrend. Again, it could begin the beginning. You never know. So, hey, I could see it go to 118 and then I don't know. But I nothing I can really say. The chart looks good, but that's it. Would I touch it? Probably, definitely not. And Turbo for Wrapped ETH, you'd think would get a nice little pump. And we've been watching Turbo here, and we'll redraw the lines here, but it just, you know, I like it. It's in a flag. Its parent coin is doing well, finally, for the first time. And this tells me that Turbo's about to go on a massive pump and make some massive gains. So if you like Turbo, I like Turbo. I see about a 72% gains coming out of Turbo. And it's very simple. This is how I do these. And they tend to play out pretty nicely. I could be wrong, but there's a high probability that Turbo rips to 01033. All right. I gave you Puff at 300. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. About time you gave something. For crying out loud. You know what I mean? No, I'm just joking. I'm just... And let's take a look at Ponky. I still hold some Ponky. I mean, everything's in this beautiful inverted head and shoulder. Look at this. I gotta tell you, I mean, shoulder, head, right shoulder. I'd even just pump. I could see Ponky making a huge move right now. A huge move. So, yeah, these altcoins looking like they're going to get ready to come back to where they were and then even continue. 100% gains for Ponky out the inverted head and shoulder back to the 200 MA. Definitely could happen. Definitely could happen. Shout out to the 793 beautiful souls. 2,239 beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. And let's take a look at Ton. I'm not going to look at the other one because I'm not going to write that. It's just not going to happen. All right. I see Ton in this Adam and Eve double bottom that's going to break out. This kind of cup and handle that's breaking out as we speak. And yeah, that's the low for Ton as far as I'm concerned. Likely going to continue all the way back to $6, $7, and $8. So cool to see $100,000 Bitcoin right here. And now we're flagging out. You know, likely getting ready for some more sideways price action for Bitcoin. Send 5 Crypto Life for memberships. Thank you so much for appreciate that. Blessings on blessings. Yeah, so I mean that tells me we get to 102.434. And now I'm up like, you know, a nice G in just a couple trades here. I'm willing to give back a tiny bit. Like 300 for 900. We're looking pretty bullish here, so. And again, I could easily lose. You'll see me lose hard and be like, oh, there he goes. But, you know, I'm up nice on the day. Why not risk it for the biscuit and see if we can get to $102,400 and make some cake? You know, make some bacon on the beach here. I like this flag that's starting to form. We got to run on into tether dominance and Ethereum just above 2,000, absolutely ripping. And this is going to go all the way to the 200 MA here. Could you take a look at Nacho, please? Nacho. Made nice leverage gains. However, my spot BTC is loving this 100%. 100%. We got in at the right times, at the right moments in time. Turbo looking beautiful. And again, if you can't come to the stream, we're able to feed this into that altcoin section. Tonight we have the weekly screen share as well, where we're going to go over all the coins and talk about what we did. Have a blast. And, you know, it would be really kind of shout out to everyone that made it through so far. From 74,075 all the way back up to 100K here for Bitcoin. You gotta give it to yourself for sticking in this long and believe it in yourself. So many people, you know, lose faith. So many people have doubt. But the discipline keeps me coming back every single time. So this neat coin, whatever it is looking hot. Fibonacci back to that 618786, so you can see kind of bounced. But like the whole market got a bounce today, so I want to see how the dust settles, but that says it can continue to bounce. Sammy the Trump speech is pumping the market. It is. It is. And we are ripping. We are ripping. That trade is looking like it's going to continue to rip hard to the upside here. Stop just mention the word stocks and to buy them. Oh yeah, of course. Ethereum, let's take a look at the S&P future, which we were calling along on. Out the flag. Remember the flag I drew right here? And you can say, how does Sammy know we're going to pump? How does Sammy do it? But you just got to stay level-headed. And this is now pumping, crossing the 200 MA. There's our strategy right there. And you know there's a pump coming. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. And we called this move. Oh, NASDAQ looked actually pretty nasty, but it got above the 200 MA. Look at that. I'd look for the NASDAQ to do this now. Make a flag. See, above the 200 with the 21 catching up, and it's going to fly. It did have like a shoulder, head, right shoulder. It looked bad. It started to dip. The NASDAQ 100 breaks. Oh, yeah. You guys are so crazy. All hell, you know. It's just going to be a nice little move here. Nice little flag back to the upside, back to 21.8. I told you the pump is coming. They're pumping money back into these markets. And not to stress, we had this broadening falling wedge that nobody really paid attention to. But I told you it was going to break out. Shoulder head, right shoulder. And back to the upside here for Bitcoin. We even looked at this as the inverted head and shoulder. If you remember on the last update. We're looking for that move back up. Nacho the cat on CoinEx. I mean, the bottom of its barrel, but finally getting tight. Maybe it's ready. And it's a Caspa meme. If you're buying the lows, I don't know. I'd be all set though. I think there's better out there, but you do you. for Nacho. Yeah. And Nacho could get all the way up, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't look amazing. Thank you so much. I'm new at this, and I've had a bag for a while. Ponky, you amaze me how you call trades spot on. Can't wait to look at the charts and see what you see, man. Thank you so much. God bless you. And if you want to learn what you learn, go to cryptolifer.com. All right, go to www.crypto, right? CRYPTOLIFER.com. Cryptolifer.com. And you can check out my awesome website. You can find out more about me, who I am, what I'm doing. And you can subscribe to my weekly, my monthly, a quarterly, or an annual subscription. $99 a month is awesome when it's a month because it's like $3 a day. And I'm here every single day, no days off, constantly grinding like I was last night. Finding the trades that matter, making sure it happens, and just getting busy on these calls. Look, here we are up another $200 and $300 here on the call. And we can ride this one up now and make sure that we're, now we can't lose. There's so many people probably in the trade. So many people FOMOing in for the trade now. And Bitcoin's back above $100,000, $101,000 Bitcoin. And we just gave you a live trade right now that's already in the money and showed you how to put the stop loss into position to make gains. It's already up 159. Let this puppy go, baby. Let it go. And scared money don't make no money. You got to learn. Look at this. I gave you a live trade right now. See, everyone else could just throw the trades at you, say I was in last night, show you the gains. I'll show you the gains I made, teach you how I made them, and I'll even show you how to make another one in front of you live. I'll have the gall to, look, I made this trade in front of you. You know I did. On BitTinex. Sign up to BitTinex today to move your stop loss into position the way I'm doing. So sweetly, so smoothly, so amazing. The gains, baby, the gains. And don't be afraid to pay yourself. Like, I'm going to move my stop loss into pay myself here. $294 in gains. Let it continue to pump, so be it. It's about taking profits. And we just keep making more money every single time I touch the chart. I didn't even need to make those gains. I told you I was just risking a little bit of what I made already. Soon we're going to have a $4,000 day, $5,000 day. And it's going to keep raining on us. Let's take a look at what's happening to Pobcat. Our baby Pobcat now, which was my swing trade of the week. Because we figured if ETH pumped, Pobcat would pump, the market would rip. And there's Pobcat doing damage all the way up to 50. And that's what we're talking about. All right. And I can see Pobcat move all the way to the 200 MA, all the way up to 67. But Pobcat boomed. And shout out to anyone that jumped into Pobcat with the lifer for gains. All right. Can't wait for alts to really pump. Oh, there's going to be so much to look at today too as well. All right, let's take a look at the 3 C's for you now that I told you I was going to bring to the table. First one is going to be Crow. Crow is going to be your obvious idea here, all right? Why? Just because it is. All right, that's why. It's going to be the most obvious coin that can move. The daily was already in a bit of a flag. You can see it's doing something like this. Broke out of that already too as well. What I'm looking for is its next bigger idea, something like that. You want it to catch up to the 21-day moving average, and then it's going to have a massive move. It's going to pump back to its daily 200 MA here. And that's going to be its first, like, really big leg to the upside. And I feel like after this move, it's going to be some sideways to the 21 or up here in a retest. But this area is going to be key, and then there's going to be a move up for Crow. So I'd be watching Crow for a pump. And then I'd even watch the smaller time frames for a possible move out of a flag. See, it's already kind of starting to get a move here out of this flag. Again, I wouldn't chase it just now. I'd like to wait for it to daily to show me. But Crow looks like something that can make some gains. So Crow on the radar. All right. Another coin is just a smaller coin, more low cap. But I've traded it on and off. It's had some pretty good, I like the price action. It makes nice flags. CyberConnect. All right. You can see it's starting to flag out again here as well. I feel like it just started to break out of a flag. Again, we've had some good action. Can it come one thing? Can it break out and make a flag up here? Or is it going to come back inside the price action? Coming back inside would be so keen. Like after this kind of pullback, and then we see where we could go. Bitcoin, beautiful, 101,171 for BTC. Let's see, we sold that little local top there on B2Nex, on Bitunix. And shout out to Bitunix. It was fun seeing the whole team over there in Dubai. I still can't believe I was in Dubai. I don't believe it. I don't believe that it actually happened. Were we really in Dubai? I guess we were. I guess I was. Fully fascinating times to be alive, though, hanging out in Dubai with some of the big exchanges, biggest people, and, you know, just the whales of crypto, man. It was insane. And they were able to rent out the biggest, like 6 months ago, the exchanges rented out the nicest venues, the biggest venues, and it's pretty awesome, you know. And then Token 2049 already kind of scheduled 6 months from now in October in Singapore. And that seems to be kind of the next big move here. And so, yeah, Singapore. Shout out to the 2,500 beautiful souls here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. And this is what happens with Bitcoin Pumps. 2,500 beautiful souls. And thank you for being here. And if you didn't jump into Bitcoin, or you want to learn more about Bitcoin, or want to learn how to trade, or you like cryptocurrency, go to cryptolifer.com. I have a Discord you can join for $99 a month. It's nothing compared to what we learn and what we find out and how much money we make a day once you get the education. But it's all about education. Show up every single day. You can use the exchange, you know, the links to the exchanges that I use to, if that's something that you'd like, if you're comfortable, or if you want to give back to the channel. All those links do give back. So, you know, you learn something from me, you use the link, I get commission. It's really a nice way to give back to the channel. So thank you. Watching this flag for the next possible move here on Bitunix. And it's been, what a crazy day it's been. All right. So CyberConnect, another, see, I'm looking for that to get tight in there before it can make a move. And then Certic. Remember Certic? Because everyone used Certic to do their audits, right? So I figured once the whole market came back and we started getting a lot more coins, Certic would get some love again. And so it was just on my radar when I'm looking at it and thinking about it. I'm like, what is infrastructure? What do people use? Certic. So I wouldn't be surprised if Certic breaks out of this kind of shoulder, head, right shoulder, cup and handle, and pumps back to its 200-day moving average. So Crow, Certic, and Cyber on my radar. Right, Sam? Big love. Going to have to sleep. Banked another 15K today. 10:50 p.m. here in Thailand. Remember, lifers, pay yourself and bank your profits, man. Shout out to Milligan's Travels in Thailand. Bang, bang, bang. God bless you, man. Making gains yet again. SEI about to go parabolic. Let's take a look at Say. Say and Sui are the coins. Yeah, I mean, that thing is ripping out that flag, and it's going to pump to the 200 MA. They're all going to pump up to the 200 MA here on the daily time frame. And this could even pump all the way up to about 41 cents. And we loaded up on Say. We got as much Say as we could. And now it may be just time, all right? And again, if people were just like, well, you know, nothing goes up forever, it might make a nice flag here. So flag it out or get ready for its bigger pump and then the flag. But always have a plan. Don't chase and be ready to kind of look for a moving average or something. But yeah, Say is about to pump hard, in my humble opinion. Accumulation right now, even down there was the time, but accumulation right here, even at 20 cents. Bang. And someone's like, Cookie, check Cookie. I mean, Cookie would rip. You know, Virtuals is going to rip. Everything is going to go back to where it was. I mean, you're going to see massive pumps here. And it's crazy. Then we're going to go to Bitcoin Vegas with things just out of control. It's pretty nuts, right? Look, Cookie back above, the daily 200 MA. And this is the times you want to be alive. Massive moves here. Look for Cookie Dow to rip all the way to about 31 cents. And you don't have to chase. We'll find some good areas. Okay. Pangu is ripping last night too. Let's take a look at Pangu is holding it down or pumping. The Pudgy Penguins. And they just exited along We ripped down, we got a move down here, right? Let's see. So now we're watching another flag, which could easily pan out to be another big pump here for Bitcoin. I mean, if we can continue to pump, why wouldn't we go to 103K? It should make sense, right? So we're going for 102.995. Stop loss at about 108.29. Extend that, see if we can get the pump to continue here. And wow, Bitcoin pumping amazingly. 2,500 people here on the stream. God bless everybody on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Unbelievable. $101,200 Bitcoin. Just insanity. And here we are. Sell in May and walk away and then buy back. I know, right? Imagine the people that sold in May already. Man. Not this time, baby. We've built too much conviction long term in this idea here. I'm staring at this thing, forgetting that it's dipping down, right? I gotta like. So Bitcoin, yeah. So Bitcoin took a bit of a fall back down to about $100,069, and finally a bit of bearish divvy there. But does that mean it's over for sure? Look at your 1 hour. I mean, that was a massive move away for the 21-day moving average. A definite short squeeze. People couldn't handle it. So yeah, and now it's a Thursday. Wait for price action to cool off. You know, you don't have to chase. It'll eventually find some find structure that we can trade. Even if you give it some time and you come back to it another time. You don't have to chase. Never chase price action. You're chasing yourself when you're chasing price action. Let price action come to you. There's always going to be opportunity for you. Don't force it. That's how you lose money. The only place to be, the 99. Shout out to Rave Song Record. Shout out to Gold Soul. Someone asking about Gold. Ass Gold. You really want Gold? Gold's whack. I really think Gold's so whack, bro. I really do. I think there's so many other things you could be looking at. Look, it's at the bottom of its barrel. The worst people showed this thing too. It was just like, maybe you're buying the bottoms and it starts to rip again. And AI comes back from the dead. Hey, it could possibly pump. Everything's pumping, but no. Making memories again. Yep. The only place to be with the 99. Yeah. So we're going to be back in Vegas. Bitcoin above 100K likely. And things just going our way. Right now, I would be taking profits and sitting pretty like I am and waiting for the next consolidative move. That was a nice big pump for Bitcoin. Is it sustainable? I mean, anything is possible. If you're really hungry for a pump, you look for the 1 minute. But to me, things are going somewhat sideways, so it'll take its time. I'd say the 1 hour, the 15 minute, they're going to have to consolidate a little bit here before, if we are going to pump, they're going to consolidate a little bit and make another flag. So give it some time. But it's possible we do get a continuation here tonight. And Bitcoin rips all the way to $105,000. I mean, we're so close now to the new all-time high. Anything that can happen. All right. Jesus, take care of Sam the Legend and us livers. Resonating in gratitude, we reap these gains, baby. Amen. 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 God bless everybody here on the stream. Thank you for jumping on in. And we thank you. We care about you. We love you. And we want to make sure you continue to make gains. Let's take a look at GPU before we jump on out of here for the day. Pengu looks good, though, on the daily. All these coins were flagging out on the daily. Just cup and handle, getting ready for their next pump. I mean, it looked obvious to me now when I look at it. Look at GPU. Node AI. MEXC. I mean, it looks like everything else will get a pump. This will too. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. It's got a gap in the VRVP back to 53 cents. You just have to have the guts to believe. You know, whole market's going to erupt. I mean, the whole market's going to erupt. Shout out to the $191 in chat revenue. 2,218 people here on the live. You people are amazing. 880 likes, $191 in chat revenue. What an amazing stream. One of the biggest, best streams we've ever had as Bitcoin pumps. You never know when Bitcoin's going to pump right into your hands. And we're just going to continue to make gains here no matter what. Shout out to all my awesome streamers. Please subscribe to the channel. On my way to 100,000 subscribers. I'd greatly like to use this Bitcoin pump to solicit some subscribers to my channel. It would be absolutely amazing if we could get that. We're going to 100,000 subs and counting here on the channel, and we're getting so close. Right now, we're at 95,776, and it's up to you to get me to 96K to 97 and then beyond. So please, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. And we're on our growing movement here all the way up to the upside. And I can't do it without you, each and every one of you. When I started, it took years just to get my first 100. And now we're here at 95,776,000 subscribers. So hey, there's the 777s. Who would have thought? Right there on the live, right? I didn't plan that. That's so crazy. God bless you all for doing that on the 777s. That's so cool. But yes, there's many people that subscribe, please, and that will come back to you tenfold. I'd greatly appreciate it. So we gave a live trade on the channel. I showed you a trade that I already taken gains off today, and then we were able to even sell 100K. We got a few trades with 100K marked on them, and then we're still in the ETH trade. That's still booming to the upside. Still up 109% gains on the ETH trade. 124% now. Up $2,000 on the ETH trade. Absolutely ripping to the upside. Beautiful times to be alive for Ethereum. It was only a matter of time they were going to pump that puppy. And wow, that's a crazy pump. It's making me think like, man, is it time? When it really pumps, it's just time to keep holding. But while unsustainable, I've been in the trade for a while. I made some massive gains. Yeah, why not take the gains on the ETH trade too? Or away from the 21-day moving average? It's a good time to sell. I feel like it's a good time to sell. Everyone's like, no, Sam, that's going to go to 10,000. You're going to hold that trade for days. We'll see, though. We could go sideways and continue to pump. We very well may just like, I'll raise the target too to like what, 2172? That was the target, 2180. We'll lock in 1700 and we'll raise the target, and we'll see where this ETH trade goes. But you gotta, up $2,200. I mean, unbelievable. I haven't traded ETH. I never trade ETH. So I taught you how to trade Ethereum. Bitcoin's still ripping 100,770. Man, it may not be time to bounce. We may actually have to get continuation of a pump here for Bitcoin. It's like showing signs of life here on a bounce. I don't know. Bitcoin's about to go back above 100K again. 101K, I mean. Wow, it's 190. Yeah, 100,009 now. 900, I mean, this looks like a probable pump. Be at 103,595. That would be your next stop for Bitcoin. See, when the market starts to rip, you got to be able to track price action. I'm tracking it all the time. People laugh at me when I'm, attempting to figure it out, because there's no guarantee you're figuring it out as it comes. I'll be watching this closely. If I see something, I'll be getting in and looking for more gains. This is amazing. Shout out to the awesome people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate you all for being here. And this is what we live for, right? This is what we live for. And this is why I do the stream every single day, because we never know what's going to be the big pumps. We're going to be here for them every single time. Everyone wants to do double this and that, Jerome Powell, but we're here every single day, folks. No days off. Even on a Thursday. Thursday ends up being the big day. And we gave even the trade last night too as well. And yeah, I sold some early. I could have been in all the way, but hey, I'm happy of all the gains that I did make today. I'm happy of all the gains that I did make. I feel like a pump like that's unsustainable. I should always take gains when price action's pumping crazy like this. Sell the green day and worry about everything else after the fact. I really like to see the $2,000 there. Yeah, I'm going to sell the ETH trade. If it goes bigger, it goes bigger. So what? I'm locking in my money. 123% gains on Ethereum. Look, I'm right there. I'm making sure I can't lose. And ETH back above $2,000. And so today was a great day of trading. And I can end the day at 12 o'clock making more money than I used to make in almost basically a month at my last job in one day. I mean, what a blessing, right? Only in trading can you do stuff like this. And look, you can make money with, $1,600 make you $9,000. And look, there we go. We're just adding more money and more gains. A beautiful ETH trade. And it took a while. I mean, ETH only had to go up about $242, but it took forever, right? But I had to stop, and I knew, and I had proper risk management, and it never got hit. And I've been in that trade the entirety of Dubai. That just paid for basically almost of Dubai. You know what I mean? If your room was $1,000 a night, that's 2 nights, a couple nights, 5 nights, 6 nights, and then you're gone. I mean, look for this to go sideways. Bitcoin may continue to pump. We may see some more bumps here for Bitcoin. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated as this continues. You'd want to see somewhat of a pullback. The 1 hour is very far away from the 21-day moving average. That's when I would be taking some profits, everybody. Everyone gets too hyped right now, but it's probably time to take some profit. I love you all. God bless you all. Someone asked about Wild on the super chats. Let's take a look at Wild. And that's Wilder World, right? Which is a coin that I love. On MEXC. I mean, wow, it bottomed all the way back down there again. That's crazy. I would say, hey, hold it and believe that gaming's coming back. If not, it's done. I don't know what to say about that. Wow, they brought these coins so far down. The gaming coins, they're all trying to come back again. This would be the absolute bottom. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. And this could pump all the way to the 200 to the daily. Every coin should be pumping up to its daily 200 MA. But it doesn't mean it will for sure. All right. All right, everyone, I love you. I'm going to jump on out of here for the day. Rest my eyes. I've been in the chart since 7 in the morning. But I'll keep my entire trading group up to date. We also hang out tonight. We have a weekly screen share. I'm going to go over my entire portfolio, have some fun, talk about what happened, and have a blast. We'll also look out for my elites and everything that I'm putting out there throughout the day. Shout out to the 2,065 beautiful souls. Can we get the likes up to the watchers? 934 likes, just a few more people. And we get all the way to 1,000 likes. So it'd be cool if we hit 1,000 likes at the live. Just 65 beautiful souls, 66 beautiful souls there. Thanks for all you do, Sammy. Thoughts on Planeteer? No thoughts. Yeah, no thoughts at all, man. I love it. No thoughts at all. Palantir Technologies. Let's take a look for you. It kind of ripped and then it ripped again. I wouldn't be surprised if it see how tight it is if it rips out of here. I see more upside for it. I do. I see it going to 210 by July 10th. Yeah. They're going to print this money. Palantir is probably going to get a lot of it. And it's going to get tight and then pump. Yeah, once it breaks above 120, 130, and that is a new all-time high for it, I believe it is. Yeah, I mean, this thing looks like it's just going to continue to rip. It's out of control. There's a frenzy for this coin, and I don't see it stopping. I really don't. Asset coin, it's not a coin, but an asset. It's just, and I see it going to 210. 210. Nice pump for Mog. And again, tight moving averages. You get all the way back up to the 200 MA. I've seen this many times. Prepare, almost all your coins are going to start doing this. They're just going to start ripping right up to that 200. It's going to be the first leg, then a dump. So be careful. But that's going to be the first leg for almost every single thing. And I kept telling you, up to the 200, up to the 200. You guys will learn this. We'll teach it. Strategies upon strategies. Shout out to anyone on weeks making gains. All right. Love DCing on weeks. Love building my positions on weeks. As you can see, I do keep a get old. And look, that never lost the stop loss there, right there. That continued to pump there. Look at all these new coins that they're getting on weeks too. That was pretty awesome. Wow, BitToNext weeks, MEXC, and www.cryptolifer.com. Don't forget, I also teach the last Saturday of the month, which is going to be May 10th. We had to move it. So May 10th, I teach class. Hit the QR code. You know, the fact that we missed class last week is your gain. Jump on into class. Hit the QR code to find out more. It's going to be 3 hours with me. I'm going to blow your, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to blow your mind. We're going to have an awesome time. I'm going to show you all my different tips, tricks, and strategies that'll blow, just kind of get you going. You're going to be like, how did you figure this out? You'll love it. So. Dominance is way too high. It won't be good for alts if Bitcoin starts dipping. No stress, man. Yeah. Exactly. I missed the train. No worries, man. You didn't miss anything. It's all about you, so there's more for you coming. Just pay attention to keep coming back, and you will become the opportunity. Just remember that. Such a good class. I went in February, and it was 10 for 10. Thank you. Love your show. Can you look at wall chart, please? Shout out to Comic Lover. We'll take a look, but we are jumping on out. Let's take a look at wall. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live, though. Thank you. The live was lit. So many people here. We appreciate it. Can we get 1,000 likes? Just 11 more people, and we hit 1,000 likes. I would greatly appreciate that. Let's take a look at Walrus, a newer coin out there. And, the newer coins you would expect, especially if they're, I think this had something to do, it had its own like lending or something like that, right? Well, it's still a little DeFi. I could see this thing pumping to 96 cents. I don't see why I couldn't. Getting tight, that's a bit of a bull flag to me, so yeah. And 8 more people, and we get to 1,000 likes. Trade deals make crypto go up. Trade deals make crypto go up. I know, right? It's gonna go up. You're funny, man. And there's 1,020 likes. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to jump on out of here for the day. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. And what a day it is to be alive. We stayed strong no matter what. And crypto is rewarding us in troves. Big pumps here for BTC. Ethereum looking like it may actually continue out this flag. It may take names to just kick booty. I may regret that sell, big man. It's going to go all the way to 3,000. I was in there. Hey, you never know. But it's okay. We're going to use that money to make more money. That's all that matters. Look for this to flag out and get our next big pump. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Same scenario here for BTC. Wow, Bitcoin ripping again, showing signs of life. So, yeah, I'd look at this way and say, hey, if Bitcoin can continue to do this, then hey, it'll rip. Just like we trade every day, Starting to get real far away from that 21 on that 1 minute though, and the 1 hour. I mean, look at that. But hey, it could be one of those straight shots. Just, anything could happen today. You never know. So just be careful. But that's why you pay yourself. You don't get caught up. Everyone, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, no matter what, you got to stay motivated. And if you're not motivated, you got to stay disciplined. Not every day you're going to feel amazing. I'm a little jet lagged. I'm still a little off. It's not that easy, but I'm still making gains and pushing through every day. I'm still showing up to the live every single day, having a blast. So you got to love it. You got to love what you do. And you got to have discipline, really, besides everything else, because discipline is the only thing that's going to get you through, no matter what. God bless each and every one of you for being here. Thank you so much for an amazing live stream, one of the best we've ever had. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. God bless. CryptoLifer.com, baby. CryptoLifer.com. Let's go. That's how you get started.
Thank you.